You're listening to the Silver Phoenix Happy Hour with Blaze and Ken. And now, Blaze and Ken.
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to the Silver Phoenix Happy Hour. I'm Blaze.
I'm Ken.
Yes, you are. And look, I think we're both drinking the same thing.
Yeah, I
Are
think we got
we?
some red wine going on, except I got my
We
little Game of
do.
Thrones. I drink and I know
Little,
things.
little red wine. It's been a long day, so I need this.
Oh,
Mm.
same here. I totally get that. I'm going to join you right now.
I'm telling you. You know what? It's today's a great show. I'm super
Yeah.
excited about it. I actually have a friend coming on the show. Don't try to get some dirt from her because she's another one who won't say anything. I don't think, at least. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just saying. We'll
You
see.
can't stop me, Blaze. You can't stop me.
I know, right? So it's Karen Goodman Maschi is coming on the show today. She's an innovator and she has this amazing product that she's going to talk to us about today. And I'm just excited because I kind of want to know like how when you have an idea, because I'm an ideas person, I always have great ideas, but then it's like kind of getting them to the next step. And this is a product that she has. It's a luxury baby product. So speaking of that, well, I don't think we have to keep the show kid friendly. I'm pretty sure that she's going to be drinking some red wine as well. But I'm really looking forward to picking her brain, and you're gonna love her. She's amazing.
I'm always curious about, finding out what people what makes people tick and how their brains work when inventing stuff. So, yeah, this ought to be really fun.
Yeah. You know what I think is so amazing too is that when I met her, and I'll let her kind of tell about how we met and all that other stuff, but she was in commercials and on the other side as a producer, but she also did a lot of red carpet work, and you'll see some things, I think, in a little bit. Matter of fact, I can put one of them up right now as a little sneak peek. But this was her on the red carpet for the Meat Puppet. It was incredible. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's your week been?
It's been a little crazy.
Yeah.
I got to have a fun weekend going out, enjoying a wrestling. I can't say pay-per-view anymore. I believe they call them premium live events. This is what they call
Okay.
them now.
All right.
But I got to enjoy the Royal Rumble with some with a good friend of mine over the weekend. It was fun.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I saw that there was the new show Wednesday
Oh
has
yeah,
been getting really good feedback. So have you seen it yet? What do you think of it?
I have not actually. Speaking of Wednesday Adams, some sad news too.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you heard. Lisa Loring passed recently, and
Yeah, I heard that.
I got a little choked up actually. A couple of years ago, I was working a convention in Sacramento. I'm in Scranton, and actually got to spend a lot of time with her afterwards. And we shared a couple of drinks and had a couple of laughs and some really good conversation. And
Yeah.
really upset because her and I actually spoke a few months ago, actually, and we were talking about actually doing the show.
Uh,
And so yeah, I was a little upset and hurt when when I heard the news.
yeah, I saw that. And then I also saw Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah,
Which huge icon. I mean, growing up, I just remember how funny her and Laverne were, and it was that humor that was not like over the top, raucous and racy, right? But it had that like slight edge to it, but it was mostly just funny. It was very slapstick in
a
some
lot of
ways with
slapstick. Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
with Lenny and Squiggy and Carmine and all that. I mean, yeah, it was a spin-off too of Happy Days, right?
Yep.
So I mean, just incredible. But yeah, so we'll do a little cheers now in their, memory
Absolutely.
and of all the great work that they've done that we remember. And I mean, I hate to segue on that note, but I see that our guest has joined us. So let's welcome Karen Goodman Maschi. And I'm
That's
so
a good
excited.
thing.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, you guys are funny already.
Sorry about the lead in.
We're like, you're talking about
Listen, I
children's,
totally get it.
yeah, exactly.
I did see
Uh,
about the liver and Shirley thing today, and that's so sad. It's it was such a big time,
yeah,
Just that was such a huge show, and she was such a big presence.
yeah. I mean, who doesn't remember that Shamil, Shamazel, Hassan
Yeah.
Pfeffer Incorporated. Da, 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 da,
Yeah,
da,
whatever
you
they
know?
said.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
do
never
it.
really knew what they said. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
what's a Hassan Pfeffer? Is that a drink? Is that a beer? Is
No,
that a what is
I
it?
think
It's
I think it was the company that they worked for that brewed the beer,
Mm, I
wasn't
thought
it?
that was
so
Schlotz. I thought it was like Schlotz Brewery, if my memory serves me correctly, which that would be a pull from the dark. I'll have to look it up, but I feel like it
it
was like
sort of sounds like
Schlotz
a
or
Jewish deli or something.
yeah. There you go. All right. So Ken, I know you have your questions for Karen first. Go ahead. Get them out of the
Well,
way.
no.
That was
So
a good start to the game
so I
here.
guess, yeah, right. So no, I'm going to ask every guest that Blaze brings
Yeah,
in who's
sure.
friends. Actually, how long have you
Yeah.
known each other, and how did you meet,
Ooh,
and what kind of dirt can you
yes.
give me about her?
Oh, gosh. Okay, Blaze and I have known each other for about, what is it, like 10 years, maybe?
At
More
least,
than
yeah.
that?
I think
At
a little
least.
more, yeah.
Because
Hmm.
we met through friends when we were playing Zog Sports football. And Zog Sports, for some people who don't know, it was a local like intramural sports club in Hoboken. And we played like powder puff football and snowflake football, whatever they called it. I don't remember, but it was a really fun group of people, and everyone would go out
It
drinking
was.
after and hang out. And most of the people were single, and it was just fun. And Blaze and I have had many a conversation, many a fun conversation, many a intimate, sad. We're going through a lot of shit conversations, but
Yeah.
we have just, dirt wise, I don't really like. She's
It's
such a
okay.
good
No, no.
person.
Well,
Such a
See?
good
There we
person.
go.
at least tell me playing football, you guys tackled people.
No, it was two-hand touch.
Ah.
No, it
No,
was two-hand touch.
I would have to say that some of the aggressive folk who played thought that they should tackle people, and so there were some injuries. However, it was not. It was kind of looked down upon.
So you would have if you
It was
could
flag
have.
football.
I did end up
Probably,
with a couple
yeah,
concussions, I remember. I think there was at least 1 or 2 concussions. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
'cause
had a
we
friend who
won a
got his
lot. Yeah, we won a
What do you
lot
say?
though.
Yes, yes, yes.
We
We
won a
actually had a
ton and
really yes, yes. You're right. We had a good athletic team.
our name was the ShamWows. So, what a great name, right? The
Wait, hold on,
ShamWows.
hold on. Where did that come from?
I I don't know, one of the guys.
Actually, I think that came from a friend of ours. His name is Chris, and I don't know why. I feel like that was. I don't know if he had like he used ShamWow, so chamois. What are they? The chamois thing?
ShamWows, yeah.
I think that's what was it, a ShamWow or a chamois? I don't remember.
This has to be. This already is one of the best conversations I've
See
ever been
that?
a part of. Thank you guys for making me a part of it.
Well, I have to cheers too, and I have my New
Yes.
York,
Yes.
my New York glass too, because a friend of mine gave this to us when we moved, and so I always like to drink out of it. So cheers, we're all
Well,
drinking red
cheers.
wine.
Yeah, red
Salute.
wine. I have to say, Karen, that I wait, let me drink first real quick.
Okay.
Can't
Okay,
cheers and
great.
not
Well,
drink it. That would be
exactly.
wrong. So
Exactly.
I'm actually the red wine that I have. I just thought it was perfect
Oh,
for today. It's the Real House, like the Real Housewives red wine.
No.
I've
So I
never
thought,
even heard of that.
yeah.
It's
So my
probably
friend,
by what's her name? What's the woman's name? Who's she's a big New York housewife. It's probably
yeah,
her one.
I don't think so though because I don't see her Bethany.
Was
Her
it
name would
Bethany
be all
Yeah.
over
Frankel?
here. If it
Yeah.
was Bethany
Yes.
Frankel, I think her name
Yes.
would be
Yes. Yes.
on here somewhere.
You
She
probably
just
have
does.
the. You probably have the Teresa Judice.
Oh man.
Yeah, but so my friend Raluca hooked me up with this. If you guys were here, you could have shared
And Ken, you just almost
in the
took this
drinks.
conversation in a very dark direction with
Ugh,
Teresa.
I have no idea what I signed on for tonight.
That's true. All right, so let's take it serious now. Let's get into your product. I'm super excited to hear about this. So it's
Thank
Veza
you.
Innovations is your company.
Yes.
And let's actually real quick before we go on to any questions or anything, let's play a clip and see about this product. So here we go. Let's roll that clip.
Okay, time to sit down. Okay, Eric. Okay.
So what you just saw is the battle that I would go through with my son a few years back, and now my daughter, when they would have to go on a high chair. They would either scream and throw tantrums, or they'd arch their backs, and it just became miserable for my entire family. And when I did some experimenting, as you saw, and put my daughter in a standing position to eat, the world was so different, and she was so much happier. And that was my aha moment, where I thought, why don't I make a sturdy, safe high chair where they have the option to sit or stand? My name is Karen Goodman Maschi, and I'm the founder and CEO of Veza Innovations, and I'm patent pending on the first ever sit-to-stand high chair. I designed a better way to build a high chair that would suit the needs of all types of children. What I found was that parents and children need options. Not only can parents decide if they want their children to sit or stand when they're in the high chair, but it's ergonomically designed so that when the children are positioned correctly, it can help them swallow more efficiently. It's sustainable and eco-friendly. It has the potential to help those with physical disabilities as well. And it's the first in its category to be more conducive to children's development than any other high chair out there. It reduces the resistance from the children and creates a happy, more enjoyable experience for both the child and the parent. And once manufactured, it will be a beautiful piece of furniture that will fit seamlessly into your home.
All right. Well, I have to know first, first of all, seeing your kids in the clip is awesome. And, and I want to know where you got the idea in the first place. Obviously, how did it even just come about in the first place?
So I have two kids. One right now, his name is Logan. He's 4.5. And Emma is going to be 2 in March. And Logan, when he was of high chair age, because he's no longer sitting in high chair, around 8 or 9 months, he was a terror sitting in the high chair. And any other time he didn't have to sit in the high chair, he was like this docile, sweet, like loving kid who just was like so easy to be around, except like 5 times a day, which is a lot of times a day when he had to sit in a high chair. And he would scream, arch his back. And like a lot of the times that's associated with reflux, but we didn't see any signs of that. And he just flat out hated the high chair. And so his relationship with food became sort of like a negative association. And then our parent-child relationship was just a little bit challenged. And so what I thought about was, if I can put him in a position where he can be in a standing position to eat, he would probably feel happier in that moment, and maybe the relationship with food would change. And so what I did was I experimented over the course of maybe a couple months, where I had this walker that was low to the ground, and it was kind of a bucket seat. So you could put him in kind of like this, and his feet were touching. And I kind of raised it up on boxes safely with the help of my mother, and plopped him in standing to eat. And he was just the happiest kid ever. And so after a few months of doing that, I'm like, why hasn't anyone come up with a high chair where the kids have the option to sit or stand while eating? And having that positional option is a total game changer. And so that was the start of how I created, or why I created the company. And there's a whole long list of products coming, but that's the first patent pending product, a sit to stand high chair. And that's kind of how it evolved. It's very different from, I previously was an executive producer producing commercials. So I'm executive producer turned entrepreneur, and it's just the best decision I could have made.
Now, I mean, I'm just curious to, hang out and talk to inventors in general. I mean, is this the first product that you actually wound up coming up with? Or, I mean, how does your mind
Yes.
work? Have you actually spitballed other ideas in the past, or?
I've always been a mix between the business and the creative, which has helped me throughout my entire career. And so, I didn't try to invent it. It just sort of, evolved naturally out of the issue I was having with Logan. And now Emma, my 2-year-old, she is like 10 times worse than he is. And she was born 2 months early. And ever since she was born, she's just been this very boisterous, strong, she knows what she wants kind of girl. And so the high chair is not her friend. And I wish that I was, further along where this was already on the market and I could use the high chair with her. But we did the same thing with her. We experimented and we were trying to see if, standing in a standing position, she would be happier. And it was like a game changer. So I'm excited. I'm, patent pending and would hopefully be the first to market on this.
I know we have your website address below, and you have a crowdfunding page, right? So you're taking some funding and what does that go toward? Tell me about that.
Yes. So I decided as I onboard investors, because that can take sometimes a long time, to do a crowdfunding site so that I can move forward and not lose any time and with development. For example, one of the most crucial phases is having a prototype to prove out your concept. And so I'm trying to prove the functionality. And with the development company comes an engineer and an industrial designer. So it kind of just flushes everything out. Right now it's basically a concept until it's, proven. So I am raising money to finalize they call it an alpha prototype, which is a beginning prototype.
Right. So how did you, for people maybe who have an idea and, kind of similar as you, where it's just an idea phase right now, what were the steps you took? What's your first step after having that idea to kind of maybe make it? Do you have to look up to make sure there's nothing else like it? Like, how do you,
Right.
what is all that about?
It's a very great question. I think the first thing I did before I onboarded, I have 2 attorneys, and before I onboarded one, especially my patent attorney, I just started doing tons and tons and tons of research. And also had, some research customized to make sure that I was gathering the right type of information that I was looking for, because it's not always possible to find without a company behind it that's what they do, is all that research. And so and aside from scouring the internet and going into as many stores as I could to see what was out there, on my own, I couldn't find anything on the market that was a sit to stand high chair. So then I started talking to an industrial designer in early stage and just doing some concept photos. And eventually it got to the point where I took it to my patent attorney, and we did, he did tons of, it's called prior art searches and analysis. And basically it was to ensure that he felt comfortable going into a patent pending phase. And so ever since I did that, that was enabled me to then create the crowdfunder, because I couldn't even talk about it until I was patent pending.
So the video is available because we've seen it. It's out there. Has there been a response and feedback since releasing it?
Yes, I am excited to say that so just for the crowdfunder alone, I was raising $15,000, and I am 81% there, and I have about 10 days left. So I'm about $12,500, and I need to raise 15. So it's the outpour of support has been amazing. And, people I haven't talked to in 20 years are chipping in $10 here, 100 here. It's just so it feeds the soul, because it kind of validates my hard work and, the impression I've left on people over the years. And it's really heartwarming.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we'll go back to this product and company and stuff, but I want to take a little step back and talk about, because I showed a picture of you on the red carpet for the meat puppet at the beginning before you joined us.
Yes.
So I want to talk about some of the stuff that you've done on the red carpet. So let's quickly play a clip from Tiesto, the red carpet for Tiesto. So stand by, and I'm going to play that clip right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Karen Goodman on the black carpet at Excess Nightclub for the world premiere of Tiesto's new original series, In the Booth. Tonight's guests will have an amazing show in store for them. First up, a sneak preview of Tiesto's original series, In the Booth, followed by an exclusive performance by Tiesto himself. And we're here to highlight the night's festivities.
All right, so I'm a huge EDM fan and Tiesto. What was that like? Because you got to talk to him. Did you get to hang out at all? Tell me about it.
I did. That was Tiesto's first ever live stream concert that they did on Twitter. And so I did the red carpet for that and hosted that that evening. And I have to say, he's so nice, like just super down to earth. He does have his arm candy backstage, like many, but just such a nice person. And he does, like, I don't know, something crazy like 318 shows a year or something. Multiple, he'll do a couple shows a day into the wee hour. A lot of them he doesn't go on stage until 3 a.m.
Right.
So that's a totally another life. At this point now with kids, I go to bed at like 8:30. So the Tiesto world is like, that is so different. That was in Vegas and it was just so fun. And his whole team was awesome. He was just a good person. And so it's so nice to work with people like that, who just are down to earth, and especially their team, because, working in the entertainment industry for about 20 years, advertising and entertainment, you meet so many people, and most of the time their agents are worse than the actual talent.
Right.
But all around, they were a really great group of people.
And did you stay and get to party at all? Like, did you get to
I
dance?
did, yes.
Good,
It was
good, I'm
fun.
glad.
Like, and I usually don't do that when I do on camera work. And we split up the night. So the beginning was, we were doing red carpet, and then we were watching the show for a little, and then we went back to filming. And then after, we were on stage, and then we went back to their like green room, and they were just drinking like bottles of, I don't even know what, but it was an interesting experience. I think I went to bed at like 4 o'clock that morning, but they were just nice. It was just great. It was fun. It wasn't like, there wasn't anything crazy going on. It was just a fun group of people.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to
Yes.
turn the tables on Ken and I and ask a
Yes, I
couple
do.
questions as a
Yes.
host would?
Well,
Well,
and
I'm
Blaze
afraid
and
now.
I haven't, Blaze and I we have not caught up in a while. So what has been the most like interesting thing you've done in the last like couple of years? Because we haven't caught up, and I know you're really into marine biology and that whole world. And you've also done a lot of stuff in front of the camera, behind the camera.
I mean, I've past couple years, I would say finishing a screenplay for
Very
a
cool.
real man who asked me to write a real biopic about his grandfather. It
Wow.
took 5 years to finish,
Wow.
but it's a beautiful, beautiful period piece that extends from World War One to 1972, 73. So
Wow.
I had to really learn a lot of history, and it's stuff that's kind of
So
more of
cool.
my weak side. So I'd say The
Huh.
Nobleman for sure. Finishing that
That's
screenplay was
awesome.
epic. Yeah.
That's
I
very
would
cool.
I would put children's author in there for you too.
Well, yeah, but I feel like
Yeah.
that started so long ago and it's just kind of continuing. So, but yeah, thank you, Ken.
But that's a big deal. See,
Yeah.
Blaze touches
It
in a
is.
lot of different areas, and it's like she's very multifaceted and very talented in a lot of areas.
Well,
So
well, she's also had to direct me in a project too, so I feel very bad for her.
I'll send it
Wait,
to you sometime, Karen. It's very good.
so Ken, before you tell me what you actually do for a living, because I don't know much about you, I see that mask in the back. Is that like the Mexican, like what is that? The like
Oh,
WWE
this
Mexican style?
this is
Yes.
actually the
Is it
character.
Spider-Man?
This is the character Deadpool.
Oh, I thought it was. Now I see it. That is a funny movie. I thought it was like the Mexican like wrestler kind of mask that you had back there, because you were talking about Royal Rumble, and my husband is a very big Royal Rumble person. So I thought you were like a big fan of like all types of wrestling.
I am.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I actually, for a brief time, I was a pro wrestler. So
You were?
yeah.
That was very cool. When it was WWF.
Well, not in that capacity. More local stuff. And I was, if you ever heard of the idea of backyard wrestling, which was kind of big back in the '90s,
Oh, that's cool.
that was where a lot of people got hurt.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. No, I
What
remember.
was
But
your
it was fun.
name? What was your name, Ken? I don't know if I know this.
Oh, we're doing this, huh?
Ken the Mauler.
No, no, actually.
You do need a name. You have to have a wrestling
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, no, I was the Crimson Kid. I came out and believe it or not, like in like night gear with mesh armor and the red cape, and it was very gaudy and hokey, and
That's very funny.
later became the Kid Crusader because I started young, and it was pretty bad, and a lot of fun.
That's
Um,
funny.
and it kind of helped springboard the acting stuff because
Hmm.
I got to be a heel, a bad guy in the ring, and the best part was
That's
calling
fun.
out the audience, just making fun of them and calling terrible
Yeah.
things out to them. And your point was to get booed, and that was your job. And if you weren't getting booed, I wasn't doing my job right, you know. So, and it builds a thick skin up for later when you actually decide to try to act or to go into acting.
That's very cool. I know. I
Yeah.
always think about that when, my husband, he calls like his the times he watches WWE, he equates that to like women who might read this like, like some kind of female magazine, if you will. And he's like, that's just, how I veg out. I'm like, that's fine by me. I watch The Bachelor, so
There you go. So, real quick to segue from one sport to another, because
yes.
I know that you worked with Adrian Peterson from the
Mhm.
Vikings, and I
I
know
do.
that your husband is a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. Have you
Yes.
turncoated? Are you an Eagles fan now? Because I don't think you were before.
Okay, so being from Cleveland originally, my backstory is, I'm from Cleveland originally, lived in Manhattan for 14 years, lived in Chicago for 3, and now we're in the DC area. I feel a little loyal to the Browns, even though, they weren't that great. In 46, they were good. Now they're getting better. They're on the track. But I am actually very excited to root for the Eagles. It's very fun. And
All right,
my
I'm out of here. See ya.
sorry, we ganged up on you in this one. It is a pretty fun household now, and my daughter likes to eat. She says Eagles.
Uh, that's awesome.
So she's not really understanding it, but she's excited. So yes, to answer your question, yes, I do think that I have converted to some degree, but also still remain a loyal Clevelander at heart, Midwesterner, I should say.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. I actually saw, and I don't know if you saw this in the news, but there was, because I don't really do news very often, but this is actually kind of funny. I guess after the Eagles won, the Empire State Building was lit up green and white. And then
Oh,
Ah,
everybody was like up in arms from New
oh
York,
my
like,
God.
what on earth?
I got upset when I heard about that. Actually,
I
That's
was like,
funny.
wow, it was amazing. I mean, I thought it
you know,
was a joke, like
That's
maybe it
very
was
funny.
maybe a picture from when the Jets were
I was like,
playing or something like years ago. I have no idea, but it wasn't a joke, I don't think. I don't know.
I was gonna
Oh, that's
say,
funny.
at least backpedal and say, no, 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 it's not the Eagles, it was the Jets.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
something
true. I like
early,
never followed the Jets, but have they been good at all? I feel like they're never in the spotlight.
They had a strong start this year, actually.
yeah, they did. They did. It wasn't like
Uh,
horrendous. And I think a lot of the fans, because I do have a lot of friends who are fans, and um, and I actually do root for them. I'll go to the games. I can't root for the
yeah.
Giants if they're against my Eagles, but I
Mm.
will. I even said, and this is a difference between me and Ken and me and other Giants fans. There's
Yeah.
a guy that I play trivia against a lot, and he was teasing me the other day. So shout out to Ryan. But I said that if the Giants had beat the Eagles, that I would root for the Giants because it's the NFC East team. Um, it's not the Cowboys. So like, so I would totally do it. But then he said, no way. We're all 49ers and see what happened there. But
I'm all for any sports outing. It's just fun, and I love baseball. It's just I've always been into sports, so
yeah.
I'm
So
I'm
what was
down,
it
I'm
like?
down to root for anybody.
What was it like interviewing Adrian Peterson? I'm going to play that clip actually right now. And then when we come out of it, I want to hear.
Sure,
So
sure.
stand by.
Okay.
And here comes that clip right now.
I'm Karen Goodman here with Adrian Peterson of the Minnesota Vikings, and right now we're at the Edge Sports Facility in Houston, Texas. So, Adrian, how important is it to be the stronger player when the ball's in your hands?
It's very vital to make sure that you are that guy when you got the ball in your hand. You got 51 guys dependent on you. So when you're out there in that moment, the most important thing is protecting that ball.
Yeah.
And just to go out there and do what you do, enjoy it.
And can you remember the first time you broke for a touchdown?
I was 7. My first game, I remember, I think it was like on my second carry, I broke to the right side and took it for like a 60-yard touchdown.
It's a big moment,
Yeah, it was.
especially at 7.
It was a dream come true for me.
And what type of habits should rookie players develop to be able to reach your level of strength and success?
You definitely got to have good work ethic coming into the NFL, and you got to be confident. Not cocky, but be confident in what you're able to do.
What do you love most about suiting up for on football Sundays?
The fans, you come out the tunnel and you hear the fans just screaming and shouting. And, some of these people are 40-year season ticket holders. So just to come out there and hear them screaming and yelling for you and representing that team, there's no better feeling.
How cool? How cool is that? I mean, tell me everything. I'm nerding out a little
So-
bit. So
I am fortunate to have interviewed some very nice people. There's definitely been some people that I've interviewed who are kind of all over the place. Adrian was another really good human. Like he was, and this is when he was on the Vikings. He's no longer on that team anymore. However, same thing. His team was nice. He was nice. He was very personable. Not a diva at all. Didn't demand much. I shouldn't say demand anything. At the end of the shoot, he offered, because we were filming in Houston, where he lived, he offered to buy everybody barbecue from his favorite barbecue place and just chill out. And it was just fun. Like he was a very easygoing person. And he was so excited to be doing, we were filming also a commercial with him, and he was just so excited to do it. And it was kind of cute. It was sort of like a kid in a candy store. He was just very happy. And he had one of his kids on set, and some of his family came, and they were just a very happy-go-lucky group. And so it made an easy day. Again, it's, working with the NFL can sometimes be challenging, but it went really swimmingly.
that's awesome.
Yes.
If there was somebody that you haven't interviewed, if you had a chance to be on a red
that's a good
carpet and talk to them, who would it be? I'm so curious.
Two people who are married, actually.
Okay.
John Legend and Chrissy Teigen. I think
Hmm.
they're very, and the other person, I love Denzel Washington. I think I just have always loved him. But they all seem very human and down to earth and not dramatic, and that we'd have actually like a nice conversation, and maybe even, depending on if it was an interview or red carpet. Obviously red carpet, you can't get so deep, but those three I think would have been on, my top. Especially, John Legend is just, such a talent, but I've heard great things about working with him.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have
yeah.
a last question, Ken, before we go into our last question?
No, I think we actually covered a lot today, and I'm
we
still
did.
reeling. But no, first off, thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet you. It really, really is.
Thank you guys.
And
Thank you.
and I'm so excited about the product, and I hope that
Thank you.
is able to get off the ground, because I really want to see this on shelves somewhere.
Thank you. Yes,
for
I'm
sure.
very excited, and it's just been forward momentum, and doing the crowdfunder has just been so, it's inspired me and allowed me to feel, it's just so heartwarming to know how many people are supporting me, and also to know how many people I'm going to be able to help. So that's just, parents and children alike. So it's just really
so
awesome.
that's my last question. It's the question we ask
Sure,
everybody
sure.
at the end of the show.
Yes.
Is if you could offer one piece of advice to someone who is just starting. I think you kind of covered it earlier, but we'll finish off with that. What's one piece of advice you would give to someone who's has an idea and a dream like you?
There's so many ups and downs throughout the entrepreneurial process. And so know that it's not always going to be the ups, and prepare for the downs, because it's just to be expected. I think if you expect that, it's easier. And I've always approached life and my passions with tenacity. And I think that when you don't give up and you constantly persevere and know it will happen, then that is something that, you know, kind of just staying positive as much as you can, because trust me, it's not always that easy. It's the reality of it. But I think, you know, the tenacity and perseverance are the two things that I would say, just, you know, keep going. And even hearing those words from people who are supporting me helps me every day, even, you know, maybe on a low day or even a high day. So that would be my piece of advice for entrepreneurs.
Awesome. So luxury, eco-friendly, high chair, sit to stand high chair.
Yes,
That's
yes.
that's the link right there, guys. You know, if you have
Yes.
kids or are going to have kids or want to just help this lovely lady
Thank
who's
you. Yes.
amazing, such a good friend too. And I'm happy that you were able to be here
Yes,
and
and I
bring.
greatly appreciate it. Every little bit helps. So I thank you,
Definitely,
everybody.
definitely,
It's been so
definitely support
helpful.
this great idea.
Yeah, I love it. So, well, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Karen.
Thank you
We're
guys.
going to
Thank you
follow
so
back
much.
up with you because I want to
Okay.
see it, you know,
Yes,
the
yes,
product
that
when
would be
it's
so
done,
fun.
and we'll do like a return, and you know, it'll be awesome. So
And Ken,
awesome,
I would
fantastic.
like to see you in a Mexican wrestler outfit next time.
I may have pictures.
Okay. It was
Your
so
wish
fun
is his
talking to
command.
you. Oh,
Oh man.
fun.
All right, well, take care. Thank
All
you
right,
so
bye
much. Have a
guys.
Take
great
care.
Have a
night.
great
Take
night.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Tell the fam hi. How
Oh
nice.
man, she was
Amazing.
awesome.
Yes. Yes. I'm so happy for her. I mean, the thing with Karen that from the beginning, since I met her, she was 100% correct when she said that she has that creative and business side.
Yeah,
Always. I've always seen that side to her. She's inspired me on several occasions where we've helped each other, or I've listened to her about business things, and it's always been a really nice give and take too. So I love that, and I'm just really really hoping she meets that deadline and you know
yeah,
gets to the finish line. So, yeah. One thing we mentioned was eco-friendly.
right.
So this is how I'm kind of tying in beachcombing with Blaze.
Oh, she did
Um,
mention that you were into marine biology too, when you guys met.
yeah. Uh, yeah, it's funny. I always was, but I didn't go back to get more into it, I guess, and get certs for things until COVID hit. So I guess COVID was good for something in a way, if you could spin the positive light on it. But yeah. So what I'm thinking is, let's roll the clip, and you'll see how I tie this
You
episode
got
and
it.
beach coming together.
Okay.
We are the champions, my friends. Or at least we will be once we learn how to properly dispose or repurpose plastic beach toys. I think a lot of times people probably leave them behind. Either they might forget them, but I think a lot of times they're on vacation and they just don't have room to put all the beach toys back in. So they just leave them behind thinking somebody else will come along and take them or use them. But the thing is, unless you have a designated area for them, then it ends up staying on the beach, the wind blows them around, and then it ends up in the water, which then eventually does cause microplastics once they degrade and break down. So I'm going to teach you a couple things that I do to repurpose these guys. The first one that I'm going to look at is this one right here. It's a little cute little scalloped cup. I would put some jewelry in here. You could put some earrings, things like that. I think it's so cool too because it's a vibrant color. So if you do have, like in my room, for instance, I have an octopus bedspread and it is purple. So this would actually match really nicely and just be a way to repurpose that piece. I found this really cute heart-shaped one, and it's just in time for Valentine's Day, I guess, right? But I collected some beautiful shells when I was in the Bahamas, and it's just a nice little way to hold them until I put them in a little shadow box. Another thing I just love right here, the Darth Vader pieces, but I just found parts. I don't know what happened to poor Darth Vader. If you take a look at something like this, It's so nice on the inside. It has a lot of space in there. So what I would do with something like this is I would get one of these mesh drainers or strainers, and I'd put it at the bottom, and I would fill it with dirt and make little succulents, make like a little planter for succulents. It's such a cool shape. I will show you kind of what one looks like when I finished it, and it's right here. So it's in this really cute little seahorse shape, and I just put a couple different ones in there. You can put shells and stones in there as well, but that's just what I ended up doing. And if you have lots of room available here, and you see I have tons of things left that I have not used, I would just give them away to a local school, or if there's somebody in the neighborhood who has a great sandbox, or if there's a playground that has a sandbox, I would donate these toys. Or you can always donate them also to Salvation Army or Goodwill. A lot of these items are not recyclable, unfortunately, and not in all locations at least. So do your part and do your best. So when you see them, don't leave them. Pick them up and take them. And last thing, get creative. Even maybe a teacher might like something like this in order to help their kids with drawing and things like that, or an art teacher. Okay, all right, well, that's all for now. Until next time, explore, learn, love the adventure.
So next time you're beachcombing, Ken, and you see the little toys out on the beach and they're left behind.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. And then I think we have one piece of business left, and that is to
Yes.
go in the kitchen with Nicole as I finish my wine right now.
Let's see what she has going on.
What's up, Ken and Blaze? So glad to see you all. And I love today's topic and touching a little bit on picky eating. Now, yes, I'm a dietitian and yes, I'm a mom, but I'm not a pediatric dietitian. That being said, if you're thinking about nutrition in terms of your kids and thinking that you want your kids to eat a wider variety of foods, well, guess who has to model that behavior? That's you, mom and dad and caregivers. So if you're upset about your kids only wanting mac and cheese and chicken fingers everywhere you go, take a look at what you're eating. Take a look at what you're modeling. Also, take a look at what you're constantly saying yes to. Are you offering other foods? Are you offering other foods in a safe, non-restrictive, non-judgmental, and overall fun way? I bet some of you are. Now, if you're looking for a pediatric dietitian with a lot of amazing tips, I would recommend that you check out NutriChico's on Instagram. She is my favorite in the pediatric nutrition space. So go out, eat the fun foods, let kids try as they wish, experiment with spices too, and see where their eating will take them. Ken and Blaze, always a pleasure. Back to you both in the studio.
Well, Ken, I think your wish is going to be granted in a couple
I
weeks.
I get to meet Dolly Parton.
I don't know. I'll have to send her a message. I'll have to Instagram her. No, but Nicole is going to be on one of our shows in the future. We have
Woo!
I'm not going to give it away, but we have a chef coming on who was on Beat Bobby Flay and won, and also just won a big show on Netflix that I'll
Oh,
keep my
okay.
mouth zipped about it until we have him on the show. It is a him though, so I did give that part away. But Nicole's going to be in studio with us so that we can all hang out and you can see her in person and ask every question that was on your mind.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah, and
looking
catch
forward
up.
to that.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Well, it looks like that's going to do it for us, guys. And I just put up the ticker, actually, Ken put up the ticker for where you can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. We're on a couple different places, but this is kind of where, for most people that can't make the live shows, if they want to watch a replay, you can subscribe to our channels. For YouTube, it's the Silver Phoenix Happy Hour. And then for Instagram, it's my name and then Longshot Ken 24601, what's 24601? Is that is that
That's Les Miserables
Les
there,
Mis?
buddy.
Okay. I was gonna say, wait, 24601. I was trying to remember the song that went along with it. Oh, that's so funny. That's great. I actually remembered that.
And
Fantastic.
for those that want to see the individual episodes of Beachcombing with Blaze, you can also follow on Instagram at Beachcombing with Blaze.
Oh, well, thank you for putting that up. Let's put Nicole's up too while we're at it for in the kitchen. We'll just bombarded everybody with
We're just
ways
hitting
to
we're
reach
just
us.
hitting
There we
everything
go.
tonight.
Yes, there's in the kitchen as well. So, but we don't do that as much. I think we have to start promoting too, so that because people do ask me all the time, where can I watch it? Where can I watch it? So at least if you're subscribed, you can actually subscribe and then get a little alarm that lets you know when it's like 15 minutes to showtime,
Right.
to remind you. So, but anyway, well, listen, have an awesome week.
Yes.
I'm so looking forward to next week and lots of great stuff coming up. So, can you believe we're already at, is this episode 12?
Are you really gonna put me on the spot at this point?
13?
I've been having fun tonight and I've been drinking. You're gonna put me on the spot now? I can't count.
I'm actually thinking, wait, is this 11? This is 12, episode 12. So we're rushing through. We're getting right through this season 2. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. We're having so much fun. So, all right, cool. Well, I will catch you later, my friend. And I can't even cheers you because I'm empty and I don't want to
Well,
pour another
good.
glass.
I didn't
So,
want to feel bad. I am
okay,
too.
good.
So
So we'll say goodnight then. All right. Bye, everybody. Take
cheers,
care. Have a great
everybody.
week. See ya.
You've just enjoyed the Silver Phoenix Happy Hour with Blaze and Ken.